Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, could I please have your attention? I know that we're all trying to talk to members about our legislation and all, but I really want to have a serious conversation with you all today. And I know many of you, this bill was passed on yesterday, but I did not do my layout, so I'm kind of doing it backwards. So I ask you all to just be patient with me. This bill is not about the morality of the death penalty. It does not change the punishment for capital murder in any way. Under this bill, like today, all convicted capital murderers will be punished with the death penalty or life without parole. There are two reasons why this bill is needed. First of all, members, some of you may not realize it, but mental illness is not a choice. People are born with mental illness. This bill only applies to defendants who have been diagnosed with a severe mental illness of schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, or bipolar disorder. When those defendants are under an active psychosis, that makes them unable to understand or be rational about the offense. Then so they should not be subjected to the death penalty. Because severely mentally ill people had no choice of becoming ill, their moral culpability is far less than a defendant who has no mental impairment and was aware and intended to commit capital murder. This bill will allow a jury to consider these important facts. Second, members, this bill makes fiscal sense. Under current law, the federal constitution prohibits execution of defendants who is mentally incompetent because of a severe mental illness. So it makes no sense to sentence a defendant to death who has a severe mental illness that will preclude his execution. Therefore, this bill makes sense because it can save millions of dollars in litigation expenses that are incurred to obtain a death sentence that can be overturned or not carried out. It also makes sense because it gives victims finality instead of false belief that the death penalty will ever be imposed. I want to make three important points. Again, this bill saves time and money because the death penalty trial and the appeal can cost millions of dollars, and there is no point in that expenditure when a severely mentally ill person who will almost certainly be ineligible for execution due to mental incompetence caused by severe mental illness. Second, this is a jury decision. And it should be made, this is a jury decision to be made during the guilt phase of a trial, and the jury hears all of the facts of the offense. So, for whatever reason why a lot of people feel like these people will go unpunished, no one will be released from prison or escape liability. A defendant who is severely mentally ill will be punished, but they will receive life in prison without the possibility of parole in a mental facility. One of the things that a lot of you may not know, prior to me running for office, I worked in the psychiatry department at the Dallas County Jail. And I work on a daily, I work with these individuals. And it's one thing to see a person psychotic, and then once they come into the jail and you get them stable, you understand that this person is not evil. The person may be dangerous because of their inability to control their mental illness, but it does not make them evil. So all I'm saying in this bill is don't kill a person that's mentally ill. Give them life in prison without parole. And I don't understand that because this body is filled with people who are pro-life. Right. If you're pro-life, be pro-life from the womb to the tomb. Don't just be pro-life when a baby is in the womb. And so, I ask you Please be considerate of this situation. As I stated, these are persons who are mentally ill and who have no choice in being mentally ill. And so, with that, absolutely, they are some of my constituents. Yeah, your constituents. These are Texans. I move passage, Mr. Speaker.
Question occurs on final passage of House Bill 1936. It's a record vote. The clerk will ring the bell. Show Representative Krause voting aye, Representative Rose voting aye, Representative Leach voting aye, Representative Kalani voting aye, Representative Bowers voting aye, Representative Romero voting aye. Have all voted? There being 77 ayes and 66 nays, House Bill 1936 is finally passed.